Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Elizabeth Headley and I work for USPA Polo Development LLC in a division called Club Development and with a program called Outside the Boards. Today we're going to talk about the summer club Brandywine Polo Club in Pennsylvania. Recently I went there to conduct a club consult to see what could be done to grow their club. This is a beautiful club with 3 regulation grass fields, an outdoor arena, stabling for 100 horses, a hitting cage, a successful lesson program run by Team USPA member Belinda Brody, and a solid core group of adult and junior players. They have a supportive tailgate group, and they have big, beautiful trees. The footing is great in both the arena and the grass, and it's located just 39 miles from a major metropolitan city, Philadelphia. It's my opinion that the Brandywine Polo Club will not have any troubles growing its revenue base, moving towards sustainability, and eventually making a profit. So let's get down to work. There are 3 items we're going to discuss in this presentation: Google, pie chart, and 3 suggestions. But first let's go over what I mean by outside versus inside the boards. Inside the boards is inside the playing field. It has everything to do with the horses, the teaching of polo, and the management of tournaments and stabling. Outside the boards is everything to do with sponsorship, marketing, PR, special events, and spectator revenue. A healthy club diversifies, bringing in money from both inside and outside the boards. So if you're looking at your club like a business, not a hobby, it's my experience and my opinion that 1/3 of your revenue should come from inside the boards, and 2/3 should come from outside the boards. So if we're looking at a polo club with similar amenities as Brandywine, a possible annual cost might be around $260,000. So for today's purposes, that's the number we're going to work with, and we're going to focus 100% on generating ideas for growth outside the boards. One simple idea is to attract 237 spectators that pay $45 each for all 16 Sundays, and if you add that up, that comes out to $170,000. But we all know the realities of running a polo club are not that simple. It's important to diversify to guarantee meeting budgets. But first I need to know more about the Brandywine community. I want to focus on who is out there and what do they do and how much money do they make. So the statistics tell me that there's a small population in Brandywine, but they have a great average household income compared to Philadelphia and Wilmington. A majority of them are married. The median age is 42. There's 3 chambers that you could call upon. The top professions are top management, healthcare, and finance. I've listed the top employers for the Chester County. That includes QVC, who has 2,000 employees. And we've identified 20 party planners and 20 wedding planners. Also, the price to have a wedding at a local golf club close by is $1,200 for the ceremony and $85 per person for food and beverage. So to have a wedding for 100 costs $9,700. Also, I Googled the events. There's something I call piggyback, where you piggyback your polo matches onto an event that's already taking place in your community, such as the Peach Festival, the Summer Ale Festival in conjunction with the Philadelphia Zoo. So maybe that event would have a polo match, and all of those brand new spectators would be coming out to your venue. I like to make a list of the charities. The breast cancer is always very organized. They usually have a fun run. They could end up with their finish line in the middle of your polo club. I identified 7 universities, 41 schools, 12 churches, 3 country clubs, and then just a list of the influential famous people. This is really a shortcut to PR and publicity, is to give a lesson and call all of your media or email them that you're giving a lesson to, let's say, the quarterback who is now 58 years old, Scott Brunner, or let's see, you could have John throw out the first ball, who used to be a pitcher for the New York Mets. And that's something the media likes to put in the papers. Now let's take a look at the revenue pie chart. So here's 9 categories that we've identified as possible revenue generators to make up that $170,000. We start off with the gate. Let's just work with the number of 10 Sundays, even though there's 16 Sundays in a summer. We have an average of 200 spectators that come. They spend $10, and that's $20,000. Parking, it's always good to have 3 echelons of parking. You have expensive, which is VIP up close, and you have moderate or normal, and then you have a free area. Because I don't like to discriminate, everybody is welcome to polo. So let's just say you have 15 VIP parking spots at $20 each. That would be $3,000 after 10 Sundays. Tailgaters, there's 90 tailgates that can happen on one side of the polo field. So if you set a goal of selling 50 for the year, that would be great. That's $7,500. Social memberships, the goal is to sell 72 at $250. I can talk offline more about this and what those benefits look like. Hats. For merchandise, I like hats. They are like walking billboards. I try to order 50 more than necessary so that we can give them away to the instructors, the people already taking lessons, and the grooms. If you sell 200 at $20, you try to buy them for $10, then you're making $1,500. Charity events, the goal is to sell 5. And I mean sell. I don't really like to give away a charity event. It costs you $3,500 to put on a polo match. And that means sharpening the reels on the mower, paying somebody to put out the trash cans, put up the goalposts, paying your umpires. So $3,500 is how much it costs to put on a polo game. So I would not charge anything less than that. So let's set a goal of doing 5 charity matches for the summer. And then moving on to weddings. I think your venue with the pavilion is perfect for weddings. I would suggest selling 10 at $2,000, which is pretty inexpensive. Now that everybody can get married because of the new law, I would encourage that polo is sold separately. So $1,500 extra for polo brings the total to $4,500, which is still significantly less than the country club. So that brings in $24,500. Corporate picnics, 8 at again $3,500. That comes from that list of the largest employers in your area. Sponsors, since you don't have a staff, I would suggest that you only sell 6 sponsorships. A season title sponsorship for $25, a presenting sponsorship for $10, and then 4 banners at $5,000. If you keep it really simple, then there's not a lot of work on fulfillment, and they'll come back. The worst case scenario is when you oversell and there's nobody to do fulfillment for your sponsors. So basically that's what you're looking at, are these 9 items. Sometimes your goal can be to increase your percentages. Let's just take the gate, for example. You have 8% of your revenue right now. You could add backstage passes, which is actually a barn tour. So for an extra $10 that you could sell to people, you could grow the gate, grow the percentage that the gate brings into your pie chart by giving backstage barn tours, which shows people how to roach a mane or tying a tail or even picking a hoof or what the frog is. All those things the public, some of them don't really know, and it's very interesting to them. All right, so here are my 3 suggestions. The first one is a Sunday girl. This is a great suggestion and can provide a vital link between your spectators and your club's bottom line. We're trying to engage the spectators. This is a contract labor individual that comes each Sunday to meet and greet spectators, organize the front gate, walk the crowd, sell items, and hand out flyers. And at the end, I'd like her to Facebook one photo and send a report to a board member. The spectator crowd is one of your best resources for marketing, sponsorship, events, social membership, new lessons, as well as they are great ambassadors for your club. So the Sunday Girl's job is to engage the spectators. Again, if we're looking at your club as a business, not a hobby, then these are your customers. So we want them to be happy, you want their polo experience to be elevated, and you want them to come back. And let's see, I usually pay the Sunday Girl $100. So $100 times 16 Sundays, which is $1,600. I'm sure you're saying, oh, we don't have any money. Where am I going to find that? I like to grow the opening ceremonies. So if you have a band or a choir doing the national anthem, then I guarantee you they're going to have somebody come watch them perform, and that will be your gate. They'll buy more food and beverage. They'll buy some hats. They might buy a tailgate. They might buy a social membership. So let's just say this example, this was 45 students. They bring 3 family members. You do give them 1 free ticket so that 1 parent can bring them. They paid $10. That's $13.50. $1,350 that you just brought into your club times 10 Sundays is $13,500, and that's 5% of your revenue pie chart. You can also go to the symphony. This is the French horn section that came to do the national anthem. So the more interesting and more involved your opening ceremonies are, the earlier your spectators will arrive and the more money they will spend. If you can own your food and beverage, that's the perfect scenario. Sometimes you have to pay for your openings, your opening ceremony, sorry. So here was the Jack Russell races. I took this idea from the steeplechase. It cost $650. So the idea, of course, is you just want to make sure that whatever attraction you're bringing to your club, you can bring in 13 more people that pay $50, and there's your $650. So anyway, that's a great way to pay your Sunday girl. When I did the Sunday girl walk around at your club on Father's Day, there were only 54 people who came. You had a rain issue and your staff was really good at moving the game to the arena. I walked around, 54 people, I accumulated 29 emails for your newsletter, and I sold one tailgate to the Allen person. So that's $150, so I just paid for myself. So no matter if 50 people come or 1,500 people come, it's very important that the Sunday girl is consistent and she always shows up. As far as hats go, this was a Sunday girl assistant. She had a booth. I like to have one color hat. One year was yellow, the next year was turquoise. It brings a unity to your club, and so everyone's wearing the same thing, and you can always pick them out of a crowd. And again, hats are unisex, so they fit men, women, children. This is very important. This is an exit flyer. I can't tell you how many times I've been to polo. It's been a great crowd, and then nobody engages me. Nobody asks me for a polo lesson, to take a polo lesson, or to bring my husband back for a birthday party, or to upgrade to a tailgate. So I highly recommend the exit flyer. One side is the schedule, the other side is what you're selling. The Sunday girl can also upgrade or transition into calling the top employers in your area to see if they want to have an employee appreciation picnic. Google called the club that I was in New York, and they wanted to have a picnic for 2 hours and pay us $10,000, and they didn't even want polo. So they were going to do everything, from the porta potties to the tents to the entertainment and the food. All I had to do was open the gate. So there's a possibility that you could just open the gate and QVC would have 2,000 employees that come and have a picnic. I mean, they have to have it somewhere, whether it's at the Hilton or the Hyatt. So I don't know. I think polo is much more exciting. So this is the list of the Sunday girl responsibilities. Obviously, it doesn't have to be a girl. I've just always dealt with girls or women, and it's gone really well. But I can send this to you afterwards. I don't need to go down it completely, but I do want to say that she does handle the signage and the front gate. She helps the PA announcer get organized a little bit more. She handles the opening ceremonies, and she does 2 walkarounds. One's at the 2nd chukker and one's at the 5th chukker. And then I like it that she helps with the closing ceremonies and takes that one picture that goes to Facebook. So my second suggestion is to call the wedding planners. I think it's important that they know you exist. I would send out an invitation to meet the polo players and see our venue. We're looking to get 10% of your revenue pie chart for outside the boards through wedding planners. It's great when you have limited staff because, again, you're just in the real estate business. You're selling them a plot of grass. They do everything else. They do the tents, the permits. Maybe they want polo for a little bit extra, or maybe not. Or maybe they want to bring their family members to Sunday brunch the next day if they have the wedding on Saturday. With the laws changing, like I mentioned before, I think people like to get married at equestrian venues. I would just suggest that you also make a list of preferred vendors. So you have one tent company that you deal with, one valet, one DJ. This way they usually kick you back 15%, and that's an industry standard. So yes, they can come to your venue, but they have to use your preferred vendors. This is a beautiful pavilion that you have on your property. I would suggest, maybe we could plant some more roses or fix up your banners. And maybe, they can hang some lights in the trees. So my third suggestion is what I call your money shot. It's also the trophy stage. So this is the one image that goes out to the public that everyone sees and kind of judges your club on. So I would suggest that we just freshen this up. Here's an example of one for the steeplechase. They have sponsorship on either side, and the name is really nice and clear. They also put the fake flowers, which doesn't look so bad. Red is a very pop color. Those are fake red geraniums down below. I do kind of like the boots showing, so I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of covering up all the equestrian part, which is the boots, but you can see this is 45 people from the Nations Cup, and let's just say they had 200 Facebook friends, and if they Facebook this photo, that would go out to 9,000 free marketing impressions of your club with your name in it. So it's very important. It's a very important money shot is what I call it. So again, we went through, my 3 suggestions are to hire a Sunday girl. You might get 2 or 3 just in case one can't make it. Call the wedding planners and tweak your money shot. We went over the concept of inside versus outside the boards. Google your club to find out who's in your community, the revenue pie chart, and my 3 suggestions. Here's some future ideas. I'm not going to read every single one, but we talked about barn tours, piggybacking, Coke machines. Coke machines give you 20%. So you should have a working Coke machine, at least in the barn, if not for the public. Farmer's market, if you can go wherever, sometimes they're in like the JCPenney parking lot, you could talk to the organizer and see if the farmer's market could come to your Sunday polo matches. Owning your food and beverage is terrific, and having a company credit card that gives you cash back is just another smart small amount of revenue that you could generate without doing anything. And college alumni matches. You could have National Kite Flying Day. You could have the bands from all the high schools come and do a marching competition. You could do what they do at Great Meadow, which is to have the rocket launching competition. You could even turn your pavilion into a lecture hall for educational talks from the hospitals and doctors to the schools and universities. Here's an example of a very successful event. It's the colleges of UVA versus Yale. It's called the Harriman Cup. It happens on Long Island every year. So again, we've identified 7 universities that you could have an alumni polo match. I mean, you could just have the jerseys. The people don't have to be from the universities, but it could be just a fun event for them to come to. So here's your homework. Please identify 2 Sunday girls, pick a date for your wedding planners, create a preferred vendor list, and then gussy up your trophy stage and pavilion. Your club is amazing and gorgeous. It's all there, and it's ready for sustainability that will lead to profit. These are proven things that I've experienced, the best practices of businesses when I've worked at polo clubs and at WEF, the Winter Equestrian Festival. So it's time to put our heads down and run your club as a business, not a hobby. One of the questions that you guys asked me when I showed this to you initially was, what do you do if it rains and there isn't any polo? Again, I come back to that word diversity. Maybe that's where you beef up your special events and your weddings. So you don't want to get all of your money just from events that depend on your polo. All right, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. If you'd like to call me or email me, I'm available and I can answer questions and help you define the Sunday Girl duties and get your club going. Thank you very much.